It's Normandy back again with another tutorial. Today I decided to record a look using an Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette. I really did like the palette. I'm going to tell you all about it, but this is the look that I recorded today with the palette. I only used, I think, maybe 3 colors from it. The palette did have some pros, the palette did have some cons, but you're going to have to stay tuned to find out which is which.
Use water and prime my face with it. It's kind of like a pre-prime because after I do my eyebrows, I'm still going to prime my face with actual moisturizers and other products. Now I'm taking this NYX mineralized setting powder and I'm going to pretty much just pre-set my eyebrows. This is a matte setting powder and I use this because my eyebrows tend to get oily throughout the day. So to avoid any issues with oil or any looking shiny problems, I put this on my eyebrows before I do them so that I don't have any problems with shine throughout the day. Now I am not an oily person, so I don't want to confuse you guys with that, but this is just a tip that I do. Now you don't want to put too much powder. As you can see, I'm using a light hand. You can barely tell that I'm putting anything there. Now I'm taking my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow and I'm going to use my eyebrow brush that I have and I'm going to underline my eyebrow. And pretty much the way I do my eyebrows is I outline my eyebrows first and then I fill them. As you can see, I now have my outline, and pretty much you just follow the outline of your own natural eyebrow. Your eyebrow shape won't be the same as others, so don't try to ever get your eyebrow shape the same because everyone's face is different, everyone's structure is different, everyone's eyebrows are different. I have really sparse eyebrows, so a person with thick full eyebrows won't even have to do half of what I did. Now I'm just filling them in, filling in the front of them. And don't worry, I'm going to go back and clean this up so they're not so boxy looking in the front. This is just the process. Now onto the other eyebrow. This is pretty much the same thing. Making sure I outline under my eyebrow. Now I'm doing the same thing for the top and I'm connecting the ends. Filling in the front, making sure it's nice and full, eyebrows are even, and as I've said, they may look a little boxy here, but I am going to go in and soften that up. This is just the process. Now, as I said, I'm going in and I'm just softening up the front. And now we have concealer. I believe it's the MAC Studio Fix concealer, but this is the one in a jar. This is actually one of my favorite concealers ever. The consistency is perfect. It doesn't cause oil at the end of the day. It's perfect. Now I'm taking a concealer brush. It's a pointed concealer brush from MAC. I believe it's the 195 brush. Now I'm going to take that and go under my eyebrows. And I'm pretty much just outlining underneath my eyebrows using slow, steady strokes. Now I'm just sharpening up the end of my eyebrows. And I'm bringing that concealer down because that will be used as primer for my eyeshadow later on in this video. Now I'm going above my eyebrow, doing the same thing, shaping them up, slow, steady strokes. Now I'm bringing it down so I can meet the other end of the brow, making sure everything's nice and shaped up. Now I'm just doing a couple touch-ups. Simply just making sure everything's nice and sharp how I like it. You might have to go over it again as I'm doing. Now I'm going in with my beauty blender and I'm just pretty much blending the makeup around my eyebrow. You want to do soft taps, and please make sure your sponge or your beauty blender, whatever you decide to use, is wet and clean. Using a dirty beauty blender can cause acne, and you want to avoid that. Again, just still blending in my makeup. Now I'm going back in with a little bit more dip brow just to sharpen up the end of my brows. Just doing some finishing touches, making sure everything's nice and perfect how I like it. Because sometimes when you use concealer, your brows tend to get lost sometimes, like if you conceal too much. So I just tend to go back in and just touch up a little bit. Now for my next eyebrow, I'm just pretty much doing the same thing. Taking that concealer, going under my eyebrow. Don't go high because you don't want to take off your eyebrow, and you don't want to go too low because then you won't shape up your eyebrow. You want to get right under that eyebrow. And you may not get it the first time, so don't just think or get frustrated because you're not achieving it. Because as you can see, I'm not going really fast. I'm taking my time, using strokes, short and steady. And now I'm blending out my eyebrows again. Same techniques, taps, making sure it's nice and blended. I'm telling you guys, the beauty blender does wonders. My friend bought me pizza. It was so good. And I was recording for so long, so I had to take a little break. Now I'm going in with a little bit more concealer over my eyelids to prime my eyelids. And this will make the eyeshadows pop later on. And if you don't prime your lids, then most likely your eyeshadow won't come out as good as you want it to. And this is pretty much giving my eyelids like a clean canvas. Now I'm going back in with that NYX mineralized setting powder, and I'm gonna actually set my eyelids. So pretty much anytime you use a concealer, you want to go back in with the powder to set it. Kind of like you do when you highlight and contour. Now for the Prism palette, my favorite part. I really did love this palette, you guys. so pretty. So I'm gonna go with this brown shade right here, and I'm gonna blend that into my crease. So you can use windshield wiper motions or circular motions. I do a little bit of both, and I'm just blending like in and out, pretty much to get that faded look with my eyeshadow. You don't want anything to be too harsh, so you just need to blend, and don't stop blending. And now I'm going in with this black shade in my crease. Now when you're using black, you want to be extremely careful. So I use brown first, and you pretty much want to use brown before you use black, so that the black has something to blend into, because if you just go in with black and you don't use any other shade as a transition, then your eyeshadow is probably going to look crazy. So I'm just going in, blending it, making sure that I use windshield wiper motions and circular motions. This might take you a while, and I would say put black on little by little, because if you put too much, you're going to look like you have a black eye. And you're going to see what I mean by when I say black eye. So I'm pretty much just blending my life away, making sure that everything is blended together. And now I'm finally going to cut my crease. And I use one of MAC's paint pots in the color Painterly. Now this is a task that I can say it would just come with time. Like, it's no way to really just like learn it by watching a video. But pretty much I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to just pretty much cut my crease, like I said. It's kind of like drawing a rainbow in a way, well, a half rainbow. This isn't a full cut crease, this is kind of like a half cut crease. Just taking that brush, sharpening everything up. Making sure that's not lumpy, making sure it's nice and flat. Now I'm actually adding my color to my lid. But before you add your color, you want to make sure that you actually set the paint pot that you used, because you don't want your actual eyelid color to start creasing. So again, when you use Painterly or whatever paint pot color you decide to use, if you even use that, even if you want to use concealer to cut your crease, you can do that, but always make sure you set it with the setting powder first before you put your lid color on. I'm just taking that, patting it over my eyelid. This is like a pretty lime, I don't even want to say, it's not lime green, it's like a neon yellow. That's pretty much a better way to put it. It's like a pretty neon yellow. Now I'm going back in with that black shade and pretty much like buffing it out on the end of the crease. Now you want to make sure you blend this out no matter how long it takes you. Just make sure that you blend, blend, blend. I went back in with a little bit of orange to blend that black and that brown together. Now I'm gonna go in with glitter. I used a eyelash glue to put this on. Together, and then when now for the other eye, the same process. Now this is pretty much what I said about looking muddy. As you can see, I went in with a little bit too much product, and as I'm blending it out, it's starting to like get muddy in a way, and you don't want that. And that's gonna happen when I put the black shade on. I put way too much black, but it took me time, but I did end up blending it out well. Way too much black. You never want to do that. You always want to put little by little. And build up. That's my number one recommendation using any really, really dark shade. You always want to add and then go back and add product once you blend it. So pretty much blend, add, blend, add. That's the technique that I use. Blending my life away. Now that it's blended, I'm going back in again with the same paint pot by MAC, and I'm cutting my crease. And I'm laying my brush flat on my lid, and I'm taking it across one side of my lid to the other while it's flat. I'm going back in, pull. So pretty much you want to lay your brush flat, start from one end of the lid, and pull to the other end. I'm going in a few touch-ups, pulling that color over, blending it out. Now I'm going and adding my lid color. This color is so pretty, but before you add the lid color, make sure that you set the paint pot first, or the concealer, or whatever product that you're using to cut the crease. Make sure you set it first before you put your lid color on. My face is so ugly here. Now I'm going in, adding black at the end of my eye and blending it out. And you never want to blend a shadow out with the brush that you added the product with. You can, but for me, it's just easier if I add black with one brush and then I take a clean brush and then I blend it out, because black is really, it could get really bad with black using a dark color like that. So I would just suggest, if you're not a professional like I'm not, then for me it's easier to use another brush. Now I'm going back in, adding glitter, just like I did with the other eye. And now I'm wiping the excess glitter off my face, and I'm going to get ready to prime. I'm going to take these witch hazel Now I'm using Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation. I believe this is the color Walnut. I'm just going in really quickly, blending that out using my beauty blender. And I blend really well because I don't want any blotchy spots on my face. Now I'm going in with this MAC Select Cover Up Concealer, and I'm just using that to highlight my face. And pretty much as I'm adding product, I'm also blending out as well. As you can see, I'm adding and then blending out the edges. And now I'm going in with my beauty blender and blending those out. Well, the edges out first. Then I'm going to do the whole eye. Blend, 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 blend until everything's perfect. Now I'm going in and highlighting my nose because I did not do this in the previous step. Now I'm also just going to blend that out as well. Once I highlight the bridge of my nose, you just want to take your brush, go from the top of your nose to the end of your nose. And now everyone's favorite step, baking. Gonna go in and add powder. This is the Laura Mercier setting powder. I don't believe I showed it. I'm gonna place that under my eyes, my chin, around my smile lines, and my forehead as well. You don't want to add too much because you don't want flashback. Too much of anything is bad for you, and that's just a life rule. Now I'm going in with this MAC mineralized powder. Actually, it's a mineralized foundation, but I'm using it as a contour powder, and I'm going to use that to contour above my forehead, my cheeks, and my nose. And I'm going to apply this in circular motions, just like I'm doing, back and forth. Circular motions, go from my forehead, the sides of my head, now onto my cheeks, I'm just blending and buffing, adding product and blending, add and blend, add and blend. That's pretty much what I do with anything. Add, blend, add, blend. You don't want to add too much because it's going to be too hard to blend out. Now it's time to wipe that powder off. As I wipe the powder off, I did my lashes off camera. Now I'm adding blush. Time to highlight. Yes, girl. Woo! Adorable. And no, this is not Fenty. Even though it looks like it, it's not. It's actually a Becca highlighter. And I did not have a brown lip liner with me at the time, so I just used MAC's. I'm crazy, right? I just used eyebrow pencil by MAC in the color Spiked. And I use that as a lip liner for this lip that I'm doing today. You want to take it and line your lips and go all the way around, as you can see, and then you want to start to fill them in. You just don't want to line your lips and then put your lipstick or your lip gloss on, because it's not going to look right. You want to make sure everything's blended out. As you can see, I'm adding, then I'm kind of using the pencil to like blend as well. So I'll add and blend, and I'll add and blend. Now, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip gloss, and I'm just going to go in. And ABH is my favorite company of all time. She's the best. Now I'm just going in with that lip gloss, blending it in. Now my face is complete, and I'm just setting it with this Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. And this is the final look, you guys. Yes, I'm loving this face. So this is pretty much my simple, everyday glam look. It's not too much. It's not party. It's just, I don't know, a simple, everyday glam look. Like, this is a look that I would go out. I'm just going to, like, you know, somewhere simple like the bar with my girls. You know, you don't want to do too much for a bar. If you're having like a nice girls' night, this is a look that I would do.
So I am back with the final review of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette, and I do believe that it has a lot of pros, some cons, but overall I do think this palette is a steal, and I would buy it again if I ever ran out, which I doubt you will. I don't know if you can see this, but these two colors right here kind of have like dents in them, and this is my first time using this palette. I feel like there shouldn't be a dent in the palette that I only used one time. I just feel like I'm not heavy-handed. I only use like it could have had a little bit more of a color scheme to it. Again, I'm really big on color schemes, as I said in the Jacqueline Hair review. The Jacqueline Hill review. I feel like this palette is just so like it's cute to have, but do you really need it? Like, do you really need it? I'm a makeup junkie, so I need it, but do you really need it? I don't think so, because it's just like, if you really look at the palette, it's peach, brown, green, blue, like a little yellow, orange, black, colors that I'm pretty sure you already have. So my basic recommendations for this palette is, if you want it, you should get it. It is a steal. I believe it's like $44, which is really expensive. I feel like every year they go up on the prices, because the palette used to be like $32 or $30 when I first started getting into makeup, but that was like 2 years ago. But the palette is worth it. The pigmentation is A+, definitely like that. But I just feel like the color scheme, I just wish they could do a little bit more. And I feel like some colors like even in unity, which is this peach color right here and this light color right here. I'm like, what am I gonna do with that? That's not something that I don't think I would ever use. I don't really use those contours. Not saying that they have to accommodate me 100%, but it's just my opinion. I don't think I've ever used it. But go buy this palette. It was worth it. I loved it. I would buy it again if I run out, but like I said, I don't think that's gonna happen. So stay tuned for more videos. Like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for watching.